Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to the Cherry Purls podcast. This is a podcast about knitting and fiber goodness. And I'm a little bit distracted right now. But we are a knitting and spinning podcast.
You need to move over so he's not out of camera. There you go.
We're a podcast. We're going to talk about our knitting today. We're coming to you from outside New Orleans, Louisiana. Can you grab him? We're coming to you from outside New Orleans, Louisiana. And all three of us are super happy that you're here with us today. And this is Hagrid. Y'all saw him last time, and he was asleep, and I thought he'd be an adorable addition to the podcast, and then he started climbing on me. But maybe he'll quiet back down. But I am Robin.
I'm Mary.
You can find me as Teenybutton on Instagram and Ravelry. And I have a non-Etsy shop called Teenybuttonstudio.com where I sell hand-dyed yarn.
And that's a new development, correct?
It is, yes. I now am mostly off of Etsy. So if you're looking for my shop, it's now Teenybuttonstudio.com. The Etsy shop is still open, but once all the yarn in there is gone, it's gone for good. And all the new yarn is going to go into the new shop. So,
sounds good.
Who are you?
I am Mary. Snippin' Full on Ravelry, and on Instagram, I am Cherry Purls Mary.
And this is episode 83. I didn't say that. We have a podcast group on Ravelry, Cherry Purls Podcast, where you can find the show notes and links to everything that we're going to talk about today. And, yeah, we're super happy that you're here with us today. We mixed up the format, and now I'm like, I hope I didn't forget anything. But
you changed it up?
He did. He has a hashtag. It's Helper Hagrid. Or is it Helpful Hagrid?
Helpful Hagrid.
Helpful Hagrid.
On Instagram.
On Instagram. So that's where you can find all three of us. We are going to be at the Houston. Yeah. We're going to be where you can find us. We're going to be at the Houston Fiber Fest this month. It's June now. So June 22nd through 24th, we're going to be at the Houston Fiber Fest. And then we are also going to be at SSK, the Super Summer Knit Together, as vendors and as attendees for both of those. One's retreat and one's just a festival, but we're vending at both. And SSK is July 18th through the 22nd.
The 22nd will be the day
of July.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not doing two shows in one weekend because that'll be...
No, two different states.
Yeah. We're going to teleport.
And I think what you said, the 22nd of July is the day that the market will be open.
21st, that's Saturday.
Oh, that's right. Be the day that the market will be open to the public. So if you're not attending, but you'd still like to come over and say, hey, you can come over and see us on the 21st.
Yes. So, you ready to go into finished objects?
Sure. I'm the only one with finished objects this
I didn't
week.
finish anything because I'm working on a big project.
Yes,
okay.
And these are smaller projects. So, the first thing is the baby hat. Y'all have seen me do these. This knitting some hats is part of my craft bingo for this year. I wanted to knit a certain number of hats to donate to charity. And so this is another one of the baby hats. This is the Basic Baby Hat by Heather Tucker. And the yarn is Bernat Softy Baby Solids. And I'm not sure the colorway because it didn't have a band with it. But it did match another yarn. This was given to me by a viewer. And so... baby blue, something like
a
that.
Powder, yeah, I call it a powder blue.
I don't know what color they have it specified as, but I do have a pink in the same yarn, and that one I do have the band on, but this one didn't have a band, so I'm not sure the color.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty, though.
It is. The second project is the socks that I was working on the last podcast. These are the I Love Leia socks. The yarn is mustache yarn, and the perfect sock, perfectly matched socks, or what was it? How does it go?
Perfect pair.
Perfectly matched. Perfect.
Just perfect sock?
Yeah, perfect self-striping sock. In the Leia colorway, that's the main part here. And then the toes, cuffs, and heels are in Hedgehog Fibers sock in the colorway Pollen. So, yeah, I did my usual sock. It's a rounded toe and a fish lips kiss heel. And then I add the little mini gusset that Mina has put in her vanilla sock recipe.
You saw she just released her, well, you know, you didn't. Her newest one in her, either Cozy or Wanderlust. I think the Wanderlust.
Wanderlust, yeah.
Yeah, today. It's got a nice cable. I'm thinking about making it.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I've got a pair of socks. I was working on these last time, and they are finished.
He was watching you.
You need a sock? We could put him in these socks.
I know. He's a weirdo. He's 8 weeks old.
And he went to the vet yesterday, and he weighs 2 pounds 4 ounces.
No, 2.4 pounds.
2.4 pounds. Sorry, I couldn't remember how the weight went. So yeah, so he's not big.
We're all kind of obsessed with him. I don't know if you can tell. He's the cutest thing. He's adorable.
Yeah, so. He's really, really cute. He and Pearl have become best friends, and they play fight, and he will mostly attack her more than she attacks him, but she gives almost as good as she gets, and then she takes turns washing him or fighting with him. Yo. And then he washes her also sometimes. So it's really cute, and they'll sleep together sometimes.
So I need to show some works in progress, little buddy.
So we passing?
Trade off.
All right. Passing.
I know y'all like to see him, so that's why he's our special guest. So I have 2 works in progress, and one of them I didn't have a whole lot of progress on, but I did a lot, and then I frogged it. So I'll show it. Show it anyway. So these are my Obliviate Socks. This is a pattern by Sarah Stevens, and it is a top-down. Woo, girl.
Ooh, look at that swinging.
It is a top-down sock, and it's knit with these kind of lace faux cables on the back and then a texture pattern on the front.
Oh, yeah, I remember I liked that.
Yeah, I really like it. I think you could adapt it to toe up. I think you just have to reverse the... I call it the monkey pattern because it looks like the pattern on the back on the front of the monkey socks, but it's not quite the same. I'm knitting this out of Nora George yarns. This is in her gold stellina base. I don't think she has a name for it. I think it's just merino nylon stellina. And the colorway...
He's watching that yarn move around.
He is. The colorway is called Bill and Fleur Get Married. And I'm really enjoying it. And I had actually knit an entire heel flap, and I had started the gusset, the heel turn in the gusset, but the way that this yarn is dyed for the heel flap, when I was working just back and forth on these stitches, I was getting pooling like right down the middle. Like one half of the heel flap was orange and one half of the heel flap was blue, and it was bothering me. So I ripped it out, and I think
he's biting
your needles, yeah.
But they're metal, so I'm with that.
I think I'm just gonna do a fish lips kiss heel. So my question to you, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is for the fish lips kiss heel, she recommends that you knit, was it an inch of stockinette on the back before you start the patterning?
Yeah.
Or before, in this case, before you start the heel, you just need like plain stockinette before you start the heel. But I don't think that'll look as good as just continuing it straight down into the heel. Mm-hmm. Do you think that'll really make a significant difference?
I don't know how much it'll affect the fit, because this is going to pull differently. That pattern's going to pull differently than stockinette.
Yeah.
So it may not fit different. It may not fit the way you're used to it fitting.
Yeah. But I don't think I would like it as much if I did the inch of stockinette. Because one thing I liked about the heel flap in Gusset is that it just kind of flowed into the heel flap.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could alternate. I could stripe the heel with the inside and the outside of the cake if I wanted to do the heel flap.
Yeah.
What would y'all do? This is kind of going on the back burner while I think about it. But, yeah, I like the look of the heel flap in Gusset with this pattern on the back.
Okay, as you talk, that string that's hanging down is driving him nuts. And then you're waving around those needles.
We can't get any work done around here.
Because he's like, I needs it.
I know. He's so cute. Let me know what you guys would do in this case, because I do like the look of the heel flap and Gusset. I know the fish lips kiss heel. I know that heel fits me fine, and it's easy to do, and I know how to do it. The heel flap and Gusset, I still have to look at the pattern as I go. But let me know what y'all would do. Because if I knit from the inside and the outside of the cake, I won't get the pooling, but I'll have that into the carrying up the side to worry about whenever I pick up the gusset stitches.
I see what you're saying.
So y'all should we should just have a whole podcast of just this. So that is my first work in progress, and I'm keeping it in my Southern Sparrow handmade bag from Tiffany. Solemnly swear I'm up to no good, and I have my chocolate frog pin and my Marauders pin on there.
And you got the sorting hat.
And the sorting hat charm, yeah. Today was the Harry Potter update, and I'm in a very Harry Potter mood. So.
With Hagrid.
And Mr. Hagrid.
He's in a very Harry Potter mood also.
He always is in a very Harry Potter mood. So that is my first work in progress.
You tired? Well, no, go ahead and do your next one, and then we'll just have to pass it on.
So this is what's been taking up most of my time, and I hadn't even thought about this project the last time we were filming. But I've had this on my list for a while, and I actually bought some La Bien-Aimée yarn in Florida. That face was cute. In Florida for this project. I'm starting a Techno. But I'm carrying a new base that I wanted to test out, and it's a 50-50 wool cotton. I'm calling it Teenybutton Studio Breezy Sock. And I wanted to see how it knits up before I start selling it, and I'm going to start selling it at Houston Fiberfest is where I'm going to debut it, and then it's going to be in the shop afterwards. But it's interesting the way that it takes dye because, let me see. This is my owl recolorway. And you can see, maybe it won't show up on the camera as much. No, it doesn't. Let me see. The cotton takes the dye a lot lighter and a lot more even. But it's not really showing up on camera. But you can see it in person because only 50% of it is wool. And I've noticed a lot of people don't know this, but for dyers, fiber reactive dyes are the kind of dyes that you use for cotton, and regular acid dyes the cotton doesn't take regular acid dye. So really only half of the fiber is taking the dye, only the wool half is taking the dye, and the cotton gets a stain on it, but it's not like a true dyed
you do not need
dyed fiber. But I just wanted to see how it would take dye, and so I made a swatch because
that's what
you gotta do it. And it puffed, it just, oh, it's amazing. It's so soft. I actually ran it through the washer and dryer.
Instead of puffed, is that a bloom?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the technical term. But I ran it through the washer and the dryer, just regular, hot on the dryer and just regular on the washer. I guess hot on the washer too. And it just bloomed. It's it filled in the gaps and it's so soft. I wish y'all could feel it. I would not recommend that you do that for every project just because I don't know how lace would react to that. But I would certainly hand wash it for sure. You could probably do delicate and then warm, tumble dry low. But I just love how it feels after it's washed. So this is the Techno. I think I said that. Yeah. Techno by Caitlin Hunter. And it's a bottom-up top. And it's actually interesting because the pattern calls for 10 inches of positive ease. And so I automatically went to the biggest size thinking, well, that's what I usually knit. And the biggest size would have given me 35 inches of positive ease, which just seems a little excessive. So I am knitting, I think, the large or the extra large. But I still have 500 stitches on the needles. So I'm actually adding some decreases because I'm very bottom heavy, and I know my waist is the smallest part of me, and it's supposed to be kind of billowy, but I don't want it to be
that billowy.
Yeah. So also the more you decrease, the less stitches you have to knit. So that's a pro tip for you. The less knitting you have to do if you decrease stitches. So I'm really enjoying it so far. The lace section was a challenge. There's a couple of bits that I messed up, but I'm not going to worry about it. I don't know where he thinks he's going. He's going in that yarn shelf. That's okay. But I'm really enjoying knitting it, and right now it's just stockinette in the round. And it's just zoom, 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 zoom. And the little bitty blips of, well, you can see it better on the side. The little bitty speckles are seriously, I'm feeling them, every time I get to one, it's almost like with self-striping yarn where you get to the next color and you're oh yeah, and that gives you a little thrill and you keep going.
I love that about
it's like that but with the speckles because they're so sporadic. I am alternating skeins, even though technically I don't think I need to. But I'm really enjoying it. This is all I want to knit on, and it doesn't look like I made a ton of progress, but I really did. This is all I knit on for a week and a half. But yeah, I'm really loving it. I really love this, and I'm excited to wear it. I don't think I'm going to have it done for Houston, but I'm going to try to have it done for SSK. So there goes my phone. That is my second work in progress and my last work in progress. So, ready?
Yep. So, I finally started my sweater. I don't know, maybe I showed it last time. Yeah, well, I am further along. So, make sure I'm showing it the right way. So, this is the Serena cardigan by, where am I?
Gretchen
Ronovic, I guess that is. And this is done in Madelinetosh Pashmina in the colorway Cactus Flower. So, it's got a lace panel on the back that goes a little bit down, I guess, back to where you split for the sleeves. And then I've split for the sleeves, and then I've knit down, I guess, maybe to my waist, close to my waist.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. I'm getting ready to go ahead and start working on the sleeves. Robin told me a tip that she had learned from
somebody.
I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Amy.
What's her last name? Amy, no.
Stranded?
No. She does all the sweaters.
Herzog.
Amy Herzog, thank you. That sometimes when you knit a sweater...
I learned it from her, actually.
Oh, that's what you told me. Okay, well, she learned it from somebody.
I learned it from somebody.
Heard it somewhere, and she mentioned it to me, and it makes a lot of sense.
I know that Amy of the Stranded podcast and Stranded Dyeworks talks about this.
Mm-hmm.
But that may be the Amy I was thinking of.
Okay, well, you said Amy Herzog when you told me, but maybe it wasn't.
Hmm.
But anyway, so she was talking about that once you get to a certain point and you're liking the fit and everything, you might want to go ahead and start work on the sleeves instead of finishing the body, because as you work on the sleeves, you're flipping it back and forth, and it's a lighter weight when you're doing it before you finish the entire body of the sweater. So I'm going to give that a try and start on the sleeves next.
Yeah.
So that's my first work in progress.
You needed it. You have, what yarn is, that's Madelinetosh?
Madelinetosh Pashmina.
And the colorway is Cactus
Flower.
We had bought that at DFW 2 years ago.
Yes.
Or the year before last year. And you had one that had some weird light spots, even though they're all from the same dye lot. So you ended up swapping with me, and I think that the one that we swapped is going to be, because I bought 2 of them for a shawl.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, because you needed another one to start the sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's going to work out pretty good.
I think so. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, another work in progress.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was going twice. Second work in progress, now it's all tangled up, is a mitt pattern that I'm working on. I'm just going to show you the back. I finished one of them up to casting off, but haven't done the actual thumb yet. And I am knitting the top ribbing of the second one. So, oops. This is going to be a pattern that has a definite left and right on it. So this is the right-handed mitt. I finished the left-handed mitt already, and I'll probably cast this off tonight and probably start knitting on the thumbs and finish those up this weekend. And usually when I'm working on a new pattern, I knit it twice before I get it test knit and tech edited and all that. And so this is the first go around of this version of the pattern. I had already knit one mitt before, and I didn't like the placement of the pattern and the thumb. So I'm knitting again, and I definitely like it much better this time. So this will be one of the patterns that's going to go in the collection that I'm trying to put together this year.
What's the yarn?
This yarn is, thank you, Robin. This yarn is Knit Pick Swish, and the colorway is Rouge. So it's this beautiful, like kind of rosy pink color. Yeah. So that's where I am with this. Cool. Those are my 2 works in progress.
Oh, we have no, I guess it doesn't count.
What?
I was going to show our order from Shelly Cam, but you just got a pin.
Yeah.
You didn't get a stitch marker.
No.
And my stitch marker's over there, so I'm not going to get it. So, I am the only one who has thrown me something mister this week.
Yep.
Because I have been shopping some D-stashes, because that's what we do now. And I have decided that I am on a yarn buying moratorium. Is that the right word?
Sure.
I look like an idiot.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. You're just calling it quits?
For right now.
Unless something crazy comes along that you just have to have.
Yeah, well, okay, so here's the thing. I was on a yarn buying moratorium for a while, except for things that I really, really, really wanted, which as it turns out, is a lot of things that I really, really want.
Well, you want all of Volumine that
Yes.
you can find.
So that,
and then, who was it? The yarn place in, oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank.
Where?
The yarn place in the UK where you wanted the Christmas colorway.
oh, London House.
Yeah, London House. You definitely wanted to get that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So,
yeah.
So those were things that you really, really wanted.
Yeah. I'm trying to find
I
a
think.
skein I'm going to pair this with. Yes, that's true. Sorry, pardon me.
It's okay.
Hope this is the right one. No, that's not the right one. Never mind. So I have a thing for Woolen Vine. I'm sure if you've watched this before, then you know. So I bought 3 different skeins from 3 different D-stashes in the past 2 weeks.
In 3 different bases.
In 3 different bases. So I'm trying to fill in the gaps of my Woolen Vine.
You're going to have a Woolen Vine cubby after a while.
I know. I'm trying to find the skein because I bought this one. There it is. Okay. So
now I'm sad that I didn't get me an Andre Sue.
Oh yeah, Andre Sue. She's not doing sock links anymore, huh? Or she's not.
She says she's closing up shop.
Yeah, I can understand. Like,
I totally understand why she did it. I'm just was hoping.
Well, now I can never knit my sock blanks. Never.
I was hoping to get a sock blank.
A needles up or something.
Yeah, when we went up for Rhinebeck, but it's not to be.
So the first Woolen Vine yarn I got is in her Volca base. This colorway is called Violet Star Galactica, and this is her MCN base. And I had purchased this at the end of last year. This is from her Twin Steaks Yarn Club. It's called The Owls Are Not What They Seem. Excuse me. So these 2 are going to be buddies.
Oh, I think that's going to look great.
Yeah, and I've been looking. This one's from a Ravelry D-stash. Pardon me, sorry. I go on the. People have asked me how I do this. I go on the page for the yarn, and then I click on stash, and it automatically sorts the ones that are for sale or trade at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have it set up that way or if it just starts that way. Do you know?
I am not 100% sure, but I know that you definitely can search for yarn, and that is the way most people do it. You go to the page for the yarn, and then you can do a search for those that are for sale or for trade.
Yeah. So this is going to be something brioche. I have a sizzle pop in mind, and I have the pattern, but I also have 2 more skeins of Woolen Vine in there that I was thinking about doing a sizzle pop out of. But there's also another one, Andrea Mowry pattern that you were going to do. Yeah, but that's going to be in the La Bien-Aimés.
Oh,
yeah.
See.
I got it all planned out. These are like, this sounds really bad, but like, I have certain projects that are like my reward knitting. Like, I love all my projects because it makes it seem like I don't love the projects I'm currently working on.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
But
you love them all.
It's stuff I'm really excited about.
Sure.
And I have to have enough Woolen Vine stockpiled so I don't feel bad if I use some of it up. You see the...
Sure,
I have to buy more.
It's like chocolate.
So
you don't want to eat all
feel bad
of it.
whenever I use it.
Yeah, because sometimes you need some emergency Woolen Vine, like emergency chocolate.
Yes. So definitely a shawl. Maybe a sizzle pop, maybe something else, but I'm thinking brioche.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah,
in brioche.
I will say I will reset this one before I use it, especially with this one.
Because it's dark.
Because it is so saturated. It's like heavy, deep purple.
And within the saturated colors, it's one of the colors that can leach.
Yes. And it's not even the dyer's fault. A lot of times it's the pH of our local water. And
certain colors do it more than others.
Yeah.
And this is one of those.
Yeah, it has to do with the fibers release the bond to the dye particles in certain pHs. But once you reset it, then it seals it in at that pH. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably do that for both of them while I'm doing it. I mean, I have the setup, so it's not like it's going to take
But you want to make sure this stays the light color and this doesn't turn into more of a purple.
Yeah, we have another pinky swear. I had some plucky knitter in this color, maybe a little bit pinker, that bled everywhere. And I did it with a light purple, and it was bad.
You were not happy.
Yeah, plucky knitter was great about it, but still, But I'm excited about this, very excited. So this is my first purchase. The second one, this one is actually from Vegan Jilly, who I believe is the Knitting Broomstick podcast.
It is. That is.
This is Woolen Vine Yarn Smitten DK, and it's her Dragon Tears colorway. And look at that. Oh my gosh. So this is going to become a pair of Kristen's new pattern. Kristen Lair, who is Vine, she's the dyer at Vine Yarns, came up with a mitt pattern called Something Wicked, I think.
I can see that.
Yeah, and so I was looking whenever Primrose Yarn was having a sale, and I was looking on there, and I'm like, I don't see anything I really love, but I want to get some DK, like a cashmere base, because I don't have a DK and a cashmere base. Just for like something soft on my hands. And I didn't see anything that really grabbed me, but whenever I saw this, I knew I had to have it, and it's going to be a gorgeous pair of mitts. So I'll probably save this for the fall. Knit this whenever it starts to get a little bit not so swelteringly hot outside, but I really love it.
I'm looking at your hands and the tips of your fingers. You look like Elphaba.
Oh, I know, and like, look, like, spoiler, I've been dyeing the Harry Potter Club.
So there's your colors.
So, yeah, I don't have as much on. Yeah, I don't wear gloves whenever I dye, so
you like to feel the dye.
That's just how it is.
That's how you work.
I wear gloves whenever I speckle because I hate getting it under my nails and stuff, and it already gets under to begin with, and I hate that. So, but whenever I'm not directly handling the dye powder, I don't wear gloves. But
that's how it is.
Yeah. So this is the last skein of Vine Yarns I got this past 2 weeks. And this is her Footsie base, which is an 80/20 BFL and nylon, and it is the Taiga colorway. We talked about this. Is that how you would say that?
I would say it that way. I could be saying it wrong.
Okay. This was purchased from my friend Susie.
Taiga?
Yeah, Taiga. This was purchased from my friend Susie, who is Apron Addict on Etsy, and she is doing a massive destash. And she had a couple of Vine Yarns, and I had 3 of them in my cart, and I got cart jacked for 2 of them, but I was able to land this one. So I'm very excited about that. She actually had a couple of my yarns, so if you want to get my yarns at a discount, that may be worth looking into. She has a lot of really good stuff, so I've talked about her before. But I think this is kind of like a
pale mauve.
Yeah, like a mauve or like a, I would call this almost like a mushroom brown, like a truffle colorway maybe.
I think it's too pinky purple.
You think it's too pink?
Yeah.
It
may not be showing up like that on screen, but look up here.
Yeah, that's definitely purple up there. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a mauvey brown, like
pale,
brownish pinky. Yeah. And
like a mushroom brown that was passed by purple.
Yeah.
Like you showed it the purple.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be the Helen Stewart Handmade Sock Society.
Mm.
The Magnolia socks she released last month, and she's coming out with a new one this month. So I'm gonna wait and see, because I have the itch to cast on a new sock, which I have no business doing because I have like 8 sock whips.
Nobody's judging. You can do what you
want.
But
I have a free sock needle, and the rule is you can only cast on as many socks as you have needles for.
I'm going to buy you sock needles for Christmas.
I buy myself sock needles. Like, I feel like I'm buying sock needles constantly, but I only ever have, like, 5. Because I had the pair of carbons, and the tips kept coming out, so I retired those. And I think my needle of choice now that I've kind of,
like... had the signatures.
Well, now that I've knit enough socks, I feel like my needle of choice is the Chiaogus.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the Chiaogus or Chiaogus?
I don't know. I say Chiaogu.
Whichever way. But,
C-H-I-A? A-I?
Oh.
I don't remember if it's A-I or A-I.
C-H-A-I-O, I think.
I know the G-O-O part.
It doesn't matter. Y'all know what we're talking about. But I had this urge to cast on a new sock. And I have no business casting on a new sock. I think I already said that. Because I just cast on a new sock on Memorial Day that I hardly have half a toe on. And I might just rip that out because I haven't decided on a pattern yet. Nothing's really grabbing me. Oh, excuse me.
Just leave it then.
Well,
if you know it's going to be socks, the toe is the toe.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't rip it out.
I'll just leave it.
I just put it in a bag and say, okay, you started on something, but I don't know what you are yet.
It's on the signatures.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really...
But you can always change needles.
Yeah. But anyway, I love this yarn. I'm excited. I think this is the same as my Tough Sock base because it's the same fiber content and the same twist, and it feels the same. I don't know 100% for sure.
Similar?
But it's similar, so I know how it knits up.
And you like the base?
And I do like the base. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't carry it. So
if it's the same.
that is my Throw Me Something Mister for this week.
Sounds like a plan.
So we have a question.
We do.
Would you like to talk about the question?
Yes. So typically we'll ask our viewers a question, something that we've been discussing ourselves. So Robin is going to be talking about something in the upcoming information about her shop update. But on the subject of minis, do you collect minis? Do you like using minis in your projects? And if so, do you prefer 20-gram minis or 10-gram minis? And do you do anything with them besides knit a blanket, you know, either the mitered square blanket or crochet a granny stripe blanket? So if you do something different with them, let us know what patterns you make, because I'm curious. I know you did the Helen Stewart cowl.
Oh, I love that pattern. The Land of Sweets cowl.
Land of Sweets cowl, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And one of the patterns, the cowl pattern that I have been working on designing, that one can be used with minis, or you can use solid yarn as well. But I'm curious. I've got a whole bunch of minis that I probably definitely have enough to finish off my blanket, I think. So now I'm starting to look ahead in terms of what other projects can you do with them, because I don't think I'm going to do another blanket. I think one blanket with minis is going to be good for me.
I actually just thought of something interesting that I'm going to start doing, and I haven't really talked about this yet, but I'll talk about it here, because why not? For the more eagle-eyed among you, you may have noticed that some of my newer Harry Potter mini skein sets now come with 8 instead of 6 or 7, and I have considered doing this, and I think I might actually start it because I'm kind of getting the itch to start something new, and this will be a small project. But Mina of the Knitting Expat has a pattern for a pinwheel style.
Oh yeah,
squares. Yeah, and it's a square, and it's like divided into 8
triangles.
8 triangles, and each one is a different color. And so if you do them with like a mini skein pack, or if you get them in a swap, or if you have leftovers that are all of a certain colorway, or if you want to mix it up, it's knit. It's like a small project because you knit them separately and then you seam them together so you can carry them with you whenever you go out. But you can still use the minis, and it uses 10-gram minis, I think. Well,
along those lines, again, you're still talking blanket.
Yeah.
And my question is, if you're not doing a blanket,
you could make a cushion.
But going back to the blanket thing.
Yeah.
That's a really cool project to do. Another really cool one is Kay Jones of
Bakery Bears.
Bakery Bears. God, like words are hard today. She came out with it is another blanket pattern, but it's kind of similar to Mina's in that it's a small project that you can carry with you. And I can't remember what she ended up naming the pattern, but she was working on it, and you chose colors for the year. So like
I've seen that.
January, you had a square for January, and these are the colors that you associate with January, and then the next square you did was February, and you knit those squares, and at the end you connect them all together with, I guess, you know, maybe garter or something like that. Yeah, because it was knit. And so that was really cool. I saw when she was still working on it, and I cannot remember what she ended up naming the pattern.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah, but that's a really cool one, too, to do. So just curious, though, because, I mean, people tend to think of minis as only used for a blanket. Yeah. So I'm just curious if you have other patterns that you use for minis, what are they?
You leave links.
Yeah.
Or pictures. Yeah.
Recently on my Instagram feed, I saw one of Melanie Berg's pattern. I can't remember the name of it. It has all these zigzags on it, and Espace Tricot did their version of it. And normally, Melanie's prototype, well, not prototype, but the one that she has the main photo of is, I think it's 3 colors, and the chevron pattern alternates between those 3 colors, but Espace Tricot did it to where they had a main color, I think was a gray, and then they only had like maybe 6 of the chevrons or something, and the rest of it was gray, similar to how I did the frieze pattern, my frieze shawl. Remember how it was supposed to be all
one
over
color? Yeah.
That pattern did over the whole thing, where I did some of it in white and some of it in the 2 color. So you can always take an existing pattern and use it with minis, because I think if you had 20-gram minis, I think that pattern would work. I'll also link to that one also in the show notes if you're not sure what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm just curious as to how else do you use minis if you work with minis.
I love minis. They're so cute.
They're fun.
Yeah. So segue, I suppose, into our shop update section.
Or your shop update
My
section.
shop update section. Well, this is quite an undertaking for both of us. If you're not interested in the shop update, then you are more than welcome to leave. Thank you for watching to this point. I'm going to talk about what's in the shop and what's coming to the shop and all that kind of stuff. But if you followed me on Instagram, you will see that I use the royal we, like the company. We are doing an advent calendar this year. So speaking of minis, there will be 24 minis, 25 minis technically, and a full skein. And mostly we're going to be doing the winding. So you better get ready because it's going to be a lot of minis.
It will, but I'm not doing them all.
We're going to space them out, yeah. I have a handful of pre-orders left in the shop. The way that we're going to work it is I've listed 30 pre-orders today. I think I have 4 left. And then I'm going to list another 20 on July 6th, whatever that Friday is. I think it's July 6th.
The first Friday in July,
yes, the
which
Harry
is
Potter
typically
update
the Harry Potter
in
update.
July. Just because it's a little pricey, and I know that a lot of people need time to either budget or save money. So that's how that's going to work. They're going to ship on or before October 31st. Knowing myself, it'll be sooner because I hate having like a big looming like deadline. I like to.
Plus not right before that will be in Rhinebeck.
Yeah. So we'll probably try to get it done before then, but I'm not going to promise anything. I promise it'll be out by the 31st of October.
You never know this far ahead of what's going to happen in your life.
Yeah. I've already started dyeing, and we've already started winding. So they're actually in this box that the computer's sitting on. But we have maybe 40 minis done so far.
I don't know. I just wind them.
Out of like 1,500. So they're coming. I'm excited.
That's why I'm not doing them all.
I know. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I've had a lot of people ask. They went like hotcakes. Like, I posted some at midnight for people who couldn't make the update, and then I posted them again at 5. And they went pretty quick. I still have a couple left, which is good, because I didn't want anybody to have to miss out if they really wanted to get it today. But that is coming. I didn't mention the theme. The theme is a Weasley Wizard Christmas. So it's going to be inspired by the Weasley Wizard Wheezes, Fred and George. So mostly bright, fun, colorful colorways. There are going to be 20 10-gram minis and 5 20-gram minis. And then on Christmas Day, you get a full-size skein, and then one of the 20-gram minis comes on that day.
So it's going to coordinate with that.
With that skein.
That one for sure.
Yeah. And they're not going to be in the same color family, but they will be complementary.
Okay.
Complementary, so you can use them if you wanted to do a Pixel Rye sock, or like a Franken sock or something, or if you wanted to do a Advent Calendar cowl, or I know Amber O'Brien has one that uses Advent Calendar minis shawl pattern. So if you want to do that, they will all go together. Is that the
Adventurous shawl?
Yes, the Adventurous shawl, yeah. So if you wanted to do that, then that's an option. For all my people who aren't quite sock knitters, I know there's quite a few of you out there.
Sure.
So that is up in the shop right now. It might not be by the time the update goes live, but there will be by the time this podcast goes live, but there will be another round in July. So hopefully that makes sense. So today is the 1st, so the Harry Potter update went live for July, and it closed for June.
You mean the club?
The club. Yeah.
Not the update.
It's a lot of Harry Potter stuff.
Well, you did have a Harry Potter shop update, and that was live today.
And then there's the Harry Potter Advent Calendar, and then there's the Harry Potter Club.
All of those went live today.
There's a lot of Harry Potter in the shop right now. Because I've moved to the new shop platform, pardon me, I can now offer 3-month slots for the
Harry Potter Club.
For the Harry Potter Club, thank you. So whenever you purchase in June, you will receive July, August, and September. The only catch with that is that they all have to be on the same base. You can't like pick and choose what base for what month. So
that's only if you get the 3-month subscription.
Yes, if you get the 1 month, you can obviously pick which one you want per month. But most people, I find that 75% of my customers who get the Harry Potter Club get the same base every month.
Time.
So if you're going to do that anyway, I mean, it just saves you, you know,
you're not saving any money. You're just saving time and not having to buy it
and hassle, because some people miss it. So since most of the Harry Potter Club members have received May's skein, I'm going to go ahead and show it now. So if you have not received your May skein for some of my Pacific, like Australian and New Zealand Kiwis, look away if you don't want to be spoiled for May. So this was May's colorway, and this is called Keeper of the Keys. So the quote that I used is from the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm going to read the quote now because I actually have an extra card with me. Harry looked up at the giant. He meant to say thank you, but the words got lost on the way to his mouth, and what he said instead was, "Who are you?" The giant chuckled. "True, I haven't introduced myself. Rubius Hagrid, Keeper of the Keys and Grounds at Hogwarts." He held out an enormous hand and shook Harry's whole arm. So this is the colorway for Keeper of the Keys.
So it's Hagrid inspired.
It is Hagrid inspired, and I dyed this before we got Hagrid, so
meant to be.
Coincidence, for
He's
sure.
over there sleeping.
He's sleeping on the bed, yeah. And this is actually taken, the colors are taken almost directly from an illustration from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the illustrated editions, and I meant to bring my book over with me, and I didn't, but I'll pop a picture of it on the screen so you can see what it looks like with the yarn. So it's got some purpley, brown, and copper, and pewter with some chocolate and brass colors. So inspired by Hagrid's key ring and the treasures that are hidden in his moleskin coat. So this one is on soft sock. No, this one's on tough sock. My skein, of course, is on solo singles because that's my favorite base. And this is going to be going into a fade, I think, in between Troll in the Dungeon and Fresh Pickled Toad. Might be where I'd put it.
Sounds where I'd put it.
Yeah, I need to look again, but I'm thinking about doing a dotted rays faded shawl, the Stephen West pattern, and I think that's what I would put this, or maybe Gringotts on the other side. We'll see. I'll post about it on Instagram whenever I decide what to do, but obviously it's not impending. But that is what I would do with my skein. So it will be available in the shop in
3 months.
3 months. That'll be June, July, August, September. Available in the shop in September. So that is what it looks like for this month. So July slots are up. The inspiration photos in the thread, in the listing, I mean. And let me show you what else is in the shop from the Harry Potter update. So this is everything, or mostly representative of what is still in the shop as of our recording this. So first off, what? I thought there was something over there I needed, but I have it.
Did you need that back there?
No, I'm good. Oh, okay. These are the Gentle Beasts of Harry Potter mini skein sets. These were previously exclusive to a kit that I did with Linnet, Sunshine, and Bubblegum, but now they are available on their own, a la carte. You don't need to buy the kit. So we have Unicorn Foal, Pygmy Puff, Golden Snidget, Bowtruckle, Swedish Short Snout, Demiguise, Gnarl, and Threstrel. So that is how they look together. And I think I am going to cast on a pinwheel blanket square.
That'd be pretty.
Out of these. Yeah, I just want to see how it knits up. So
I like it.
I have a handful of those. And then I have an assortment of yarn on an assortment of bases. So first of all, this is the last one in the shop, and I don't know if I can recreate it. So apologies if this is gone by the time y'all see this, but this is Moonstruck. And I actually have not been able to recreate it, so it's probably going to be a Fleeting Fox. But it's actually inspired by a comic book series that I really enjoy, an indie comic series called Moonstruck.
Not Harry Potter.
It is not Harry Potter, but it's kind of, it's the series is about like a werewolf and centaurs, and it's magical. Yeah, so it's about a werewolf who works in a coffee shop. It's really cute. So, yeah. I had a whole set of these. I just have this one left on Lush Sock. This is the last one. So if you want it, come and claim it, because it's the last one, unfortunately. I really love it. I'm really disappointed I haven't been able to recreate it. This is a new colorway. This is called Wisteria Walk, and it is named after the street that Mrs. Fig lives on in Harry Potter, who is the Dursleys' squib neighbor. So I have it here on soft sock and on mohair. Today was also the release of the February Harry Potter Club colorway. This is Puttyfoot's Tea Shop. Come on, there you go. And it's mauve and pink with some flecks of mint. And there's some gold and some darker pink. And this is inspired by the Valentine's Day date that Harry and Cho go on in the Order of the Phoenix. And yeah, I have it on Lush, I have it on Shimmer, and I have it on Soft, I think. So just something soft and pastel, kind of springy, I think, don't you?
I think so, yeah. Definitely.
So I also have, this is the last skein of this. This is Magical Me. This is an oldie but a goodie. Inspired by Professor Lockhart. It's dark blue with some chartreuse and some pink and some purple.
There's a nice bit of purple in the end.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that. I also have more, what am I doing next? This one. This is the Owlery. And I realized we've been listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks. I've been saying it wrong. Because Stephen Fry says it Owlery. I was saying Owlery.
Oh.
Yeah, Owlery. Which isn't so hard once you get used to it. But it's Owlery. E-R-Y, not R-E-Y. And I've been spelling it right. But like in my head, I'm like, it's the Owlery. But it's Owlery. So, now that I have it straight, I can pronounce it correctly and not look like a dope. But
I don't think anybody noticed.
This is on Lush Sock. I also have it on Soft. I did have it on Soft Sock. I don't know how many I have left. And I do have it on DK as well, which is the first time I've offered it on DK. So if you like DK, now's the time to get it.
Go for it.
It also would go really well with a Butterbeer, which is the dark gold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I think somebody bought this with the Butterbeer on Lush. But I have the Butterbeer on DK as well if you wanted to do something two-color in a DK weight. So I also have Death Day Party, which is the colorway I used next to Owlery. Owlery, yeah, okay. In my Impressionist Mystery Knit Along. And I do have Mulla Grubs too, but I didn't bring any with me. But I do have it in the shop on Soft Sock.
So those are the 3 that you use?
Yes, I had all 3. I don't think I have any more Owlery. It's going to kill me every time I say it now. But
just have to practice saying it a different way.
This is a lot more saturated than whenever I first started dyeing it. I like it a lot better. So I think this is how it's going to be permanently, this nice saturation. So Death Day Party on Soft Sock. This was the club colorway for January, and it has been reformulated a little bit as well. A little bit less green and more like a more faded, not quite so stark, because I didn't like the way. I didn't like the contrast in some of the areas. I kind of like it with like a more gradual fade. So this is a little bit more muted, more gradual than you'll see some of the club skeins.
It's Pesky
Pixie.
Pesky Pixie. I always say that wrong.
Pesky Pixie. I have Poffle of Puff skeins on Shimmer, because that's...
I can see that sparkle.
Eye-searingly bright, yes. This is on Shimmer. And then last but not least, this is Veritaserum, which was the club colorway for last June. I decided to bring it back for this June. And it is inspired by Professor Snape's Dungeon Classroom. And there's neon greens and pinks and purples. There's some peach in there.
All those different potions ingredients.
Yeah, so this is on Tough Sock. I did have it on Soft Sock, and it sold out very quickly. A lot of things went extremely quickly this week, so thank you if you checked out the shop or made a purchase. I really appreciate it. But I'm always disappointed whenever people say that they miss things, so I apologize if you miss something, but it's a good feeling for people, for my yarn to sell out so quickly. I get the warm and fuzzies, but I wish I could dye enough for everybody.
But if there's something you really like,
let me know, yeah.
And because there'll be another update next month.
Yeah. Yeah, not a big update, because we're going to be, July is going to be, the end of June and July is going to be kind of crazy. And I actually, now that we're segueing, I don't know how big the next update is going to be, and I don't know if there's going to be one after that, because we are preparing for Houston Fiberfest, and then we're turning around and preparing for SSK, and then we have a trip in between, so it's going to be very compacted, unfortunately, but I'm dyeing yarn. It's just not yarn I can put online, but at the end of July, I will have a really good size update, so that's something to look forward to. But yeah, thank you to everybody who checks out the shop. There's been a couple of hiccups with the new shop. Mostly people can't find things. I think the way that I've set it up, I need to move some things over to the main bar. But that's just, you know, a little cosmetic change. But, yeah, it's going well, and I'm excited to not be on Etsy anymore. Nothing wrong with Etsy. It was time to move, so.
Are most things in your shop listed alphabetically?
Yeah. Well, you can sort them yourself. You can sort them by newest. You can sort them alphabetically. You can sort them by price. Okay. And the search function is at the very bottom instead of at the top. So I'm going to see if I can move it around. I need to fiddle with the HTML.
Yeah, I'm used to searches being at the top, so.
Yeah, well, that's the way it came set up. I haven't fiddled with that part of it yet, but I'm going to see if I can. Because I know it's easier to find it, you know. But I think that's all the content we have for you this week. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you watched to this point, thank you to any new viewers, and thank you to everybody who comes back every time. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.